Hey guys, this is Suspicious Dish here with...
So Alpha 8.
Do you fancy some candy?
I would. All I have is fries.
Still good, although... I will say that that level name is pretty creepy.
Want some candy? I got some in my van.
Yeah... I don't know what made them think that level title was a good idea.
No, seriously, I do.
You have a van?
No. I have some candy in my car. I lie, I don't have a car either. I in fact live under a rock.
I would imagine you drive a microvan of all things.
No, I don't drive. But,
okay.
That is neither here nor there.
No, it's not.
We have bunnies to take care of.
And the tanks are back. Have we actually seen them since the one level that they were in?
No.
The search?
I think the last episode we saw them was, unofficially, the montage.
Yep. Okay, so the tanks are back then. And the Wiimote issues are back as well.
No, you just really wanted to see that grass texture. And worming Elebits.
We have, so the combining Elebits, if you didn't guess, from the last two episodes, they're pretty much going to be here till the rest of the game. They're only going to introduce a few more to the end.
Wiimote issues? How did that guy get crushed? Weird.
I think everything's having technical issues right now.
What?
If I remember correctly, I was replacing my batteries or something, and having an awkward pause in the music was too weird, so I just left that in.
Still, let's talk about the game here. This is a very nice looking level.
It is. The layout's a bit confusing. They sort of have a number of paths here, and a number of very similar looking areas and houses. But yeah, it's overall, I think the amusement park is a fantastic level. They pull it off well. They pull off a lot of the illusions well. I haven't mentioned this yet, but you may have picked up on this if you were really observant. Every level in the amusement park has an entrance and an exit.
Essentially different sections of an amusement park.
Right. So I think we're in. Maybe this one has a name somewhere, but you can see that there's a locked door somewhere on pretty much every map on the amusement park, and that's presumably where we exit the area and go into the next one. So yeah, they did think out the layout properly and things like that, so that when you transfer from one to the other, it's, even though it's a separate level, it's a separate mission, and it's usually a separate map internally,
it's still just one. You're literally in one giant amusement park.
Right, and it's sectioned off into various areas. So yeah, I think they pull off the amusement park illusion quite well. And again, you might remember me saying that I would be very surprised I wouldn't be very surprised if they modeled this after a real amusement park somewhere.
And guy just shrugging off fiery tank bullets.
Yep. And aiming at things from far away because we can, even though it's very inefficient to do so.
Just gonna waste a homing laser on that.
Yep. I'm not quite sure how to present this part, or this sort of map to you, because you can see that there's a lot of twisty pathways, and it is a bit confusing, and it's probably even more confusing to you watching just in a video. This is where we started off, if you weren't curious. If you were curious, didn't really recognize it.
And there's the giant door.
Yep, that's the giant door that we exited out of last time. There was an exit in the giant room somewhere. I believe it was at the top of the stairs.
Where you just sat there and camped for a while.
There was a single door. I believe the thing is that you're supposed to assume that there's like a little bit of a hallway, and then you go through these double doors into another section of it, and into another section of the map. So yeah.
Probably the little hallway has like a map so you know where you're at.
Yep.
Of course, we don't see this.
again, I think that they sort of intentionally set up a lot of pathways because there is sort of a fun, as childish as it could be, to disregard the pathways once you have the ability. You know, knock fences around and turn everything into a giant mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A joy in disrespecting
at night and wreck up the place.
Right, or joy in just disrespecting the order in general. You know, fuck you, I'm not gonna go on the specified way
yes,
path.
I can see every teenager in their rebellious stage playing Elebits.
Yeah, that wasn't quite what I meant, but it works and we'll go with it.
You know, not exactly related to this. This level kind of reminds me of the Candy Planet from Sonic Colors.
Never played that game.
There's a giant planet made out of candy and sweets.
I assume it's called the Candy Planet?
I don't even remember. It's Eggman.
Sure.
Stuff, so it's probably egg-themed as well. Yeah.
I did play Sonic Generations, which I think had a level
I think the
from...
level wasn't in it. Or at least
okay.
one of them was. Still, it was a decent game. But again, that's neither here nor there.
I should probably play Sonic Colors.
You know, I'm pretty sure that if someone tried to make this, obviously within the bounds of modern technology, this would work as an amusement park.
Yes! As I keep saying, a lot of the areas in this level, including the amusement park and the house, are very well designed, and I think could actually be real architecture. That is, if you constructed it, it would work.
And those cookies become spinning blades of death.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a lot of games that have just failed on this basic goal of being a real place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even if they tried really hard to be a real place.
Sometimes the simplest solution is the easiest.
Yeah.
Look at something real and kind of base it off that.
I think that the amusement park is also sort of a chip out, because if you know what I mean, if they make it too fake or too real, it doesn't really matter one way, because it can just be attributed to the charm.
Yeah. But
so
this
I do
still
think that,
works.
Yes. So yeah, I do think that
Other
having
than that floating thing.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, so yeah, I do think
that bunny. He's there. Just right at our feet.
Yep. So the amusement park map prop, we didn't really see how you triggered it in the first level, because they did a bad job at presenting how you triggered it. But that bunny that was face down in the ground there, that's actually, you need to place that on top of the amusement park map. They're supposed to, they try to teach you this by basically placing the bunny directly on top of the map in the first game, but usually you just touch either part and it just instantly activates and you have no idea what happened. So I think, yeah, you can see that that bunny, I think, is the prop you're supposed to put on there, but I have no idea of that right now.
Right now, lifting around looking for a button.
Yep, that's pretty much what I'm doing, because it says action on it, which is the most vague and unnecessary label ever.
You think insert would have worked better? That would at least give you a hint that you're supposed to put something in it.
Yeah. Because to be honest, yeah, the amusement park spins, so it was like, maybe it's like the pizza sign and you have to spin it around a lot?
I wonder just how heavy those super Elebits have to be if you can't even lift them with a level 3 gun.
This game has this weird weight class where it's scaled to the gun, and it just has this consistent motion throughout. It's used for a few things, even though they mark it up as some fake weight. But there are a number of objects and enemies that, no matter what gun level you always have the same sort of feel of a dragging motion to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we did that. So yeah, the game has a few objects and enemies that have this sort of fake weight class that doesn't really scale with your gun power. Sort of a very cheaty solution, but for something like the Elebit monsters, where you don't want to be able to toss them around too easily, and you don't want to be able to not be able to lift them at all, it's a good solution. If you're curious, basically one night I was bored and did a whole bunch of tests to determine behavior in Elebits, like how the ranks are acquired. I basically applied the scientific method and, took a level that I knew how to beat in a certain time, and then just did all the variables possible, like how many Elebits I had, at the cleared stage, how much time I had at the cleared... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I varied all those things, and I found out the only thing that matters for a rank is the amount of Elebits when the level ends for real. So, your wattage is the sole thing that determines the rank at the end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does, but for a while I thought it was time, like how fast you could clear the level.
You'd think that would also apply, but...
Nope.
According to you, no.
It has nothing to do with it. I did a bunch of... applied the scientific method because I was bored.
It had absolutely nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I want everyone to think about that for a while. You used the scientific method on a kid's video game, a Wii launch title video game.
I do that a little bit, you know? I like science and I like video games. Any effort to combine the two is a good effort, right?
Until it ends up with a mad video game monster.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could take the same thing and say, you know, I like pickles and I like chocolate and I like ice cream.
I'm pretty sure that already exists.
You sure? There's pickle chocolate ice cream?
Pickle-flavored chocolate ice cream. Pretty sure that exists.
What is wrong with people?
Also, we're in Fairy Tale Land.
There we go. Yeah, I guess the spark thing isn't as prevalent as I once thought.
This makes even less sense since there are no fairy tales here.
Nope.
Just candy.
To be honest, what I think a lot of this is
just some mistranslations or translation issues.
No, what I actually think a lot of this is like, I wouldn't be surprised if they planned out a purpose for this area, like this is an arena, or not an arena, but I guess sort of a play area, not a play area, but an area where they put on plays. A theater.
A theater, yes.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have things about fairy tales.
Well, the little mushrooms kind of make it seem more fairy tale-y. Giant candy, not so much.
For some reason, the one thing that I'm reminded by all of these props in this level is Roller Coaster Tycoon. They had a set of props that I swear are pretty much the exact same set of props to this level. Like, the exact same selections of which candy they used.
Well, they're kind of generic Japanese candy, I think. Or
yeah.
Rather, a generic European candy, it looks like.
Yeah, but seems like a little bit more than a coincidence that they use the exact same candies. At least from my recollection.
Again, they're kind of just generic things. There's little star spinning blade cookies. Those are pretty common, I believe.
Okay.
This would be a good video for Javelin. He knows about European things, being British and all.
But you see that big tower of cake thing at the end? You know what that is?
Big tower of cake.
Okay. I didn't know if they had a specific name for that, or if it was a specific type of miniature cookie that I didn't recognize.
Nope, it's just a big tower of cake.
Yep. Alright then.
I believe those wafers are also European, at least in descent.
Anyway, that locked area through there, if I may spoil it, has a bit more to do with fairy tales, except not much.
More than cookies do.
Well, maybe. It doesn't have anything to do with fairy tales now that I mean, like, the only thing that it has to do with fairy tales is that the name of the mission has to do with fairy tales from my recollection.
Well, this one has to do with pedophiles.
Right.
I still got that candy in my van, by the way.
What did we say last time about PG-13?
Oh, yeah. What, are you saying I can't be an ice cream man anymore? My life's dream gone to ruins.
I don't want to think about what ice cream you have right now.
Yeah, I've got some vanilla in the fridge.
Just stop, please.
And caramel praline or something? I don't know.
Okay, maybe you weren't making the joke that I thought you would.
Also, chocolate, peanut butter, and chocolate and peanut butter.
Okay. I'm glad you're not making the obvious joke then.
You're welcome. Hooray! Radar.
Yep.
Which is somewhat useless.
Actually, it's more useful than you think. Especially when you try to get your rank up. You want to get pretty much every Elebit you can.
Good point. Oh, blue Elebit.
So yeah, I mean, you looking at the radar, it's sort of, oh hey, I can hop. You hop right over that.
Not much though.
Yeah, the game will sometimes push you over things if it really can't find a way around it. I think what happened was that there was just this giant thing that flew into me and pushed me over.
Maybe that could be a new technique?
Speedrunning technique.
Yes.
Plan up a set of chain reactions so that you can go flying outside the map. And advance to three missions ahead of you.
Yes. Let's go with that.
Yep. Throw canceling.
Alright, now we're just being silly.
Yep.
We want Elebit canceling. So we can cancel that.
Appliance canceling. Oh, another hop.
Maybe it's just because that thing is so low.
Hey, I have to find everything.
And he's just sitting there taunting you.
Pretty much.
We've well established Elebits are dicks. Only a B.
B is for best of luck, but this game is an asshole. Try again.
Hey, what happened to the PG-13?
Next time, puzzles.
And gambling!